It's not every day that you get invited out on one of the flagship models of the world's, or what I would say, one of the world's very best boat builders. But that's exactly what's happened today. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Riviera 78 motor yacht. This is the only Riviera design that's had some super yacht designer input, and I can't wait to show the interior. It is super bougie, 3 beautiful cabins, crew quarters, and I think you're just going to be amazed. The 78 motor yacht is a boat that will be happy fully crewed, but it'll also be happy with you operating it with your fishing buddies. So I suspect if you are a Riviera person, you're going to enjoy this video. So we're going to go right through the interior. We're going to go for a burn, and then we're going to play with the tender, toys, check out the engine bay and all the operational side of the boat at the very end of this video. Dan Jones is my name. You're watching Dan's Boat Life, and welcome to Thailand. Stick it on the end of a pole. I freaking love it. That's so good. Welcome to Thailand. We're, I don't know what that island is, but it's near Phuket. That's where we are. So check out the bow. Let's just get cracking. It's immense. It's very, very expansive, this area, and you could get the whole party up the front. And yes, you can protect it with mesh sunshade. So this whole area can be bathed in shade. We've got this wonderful table just here, which flips up. And I just wanted to point out one little cool thing here on the starboard side. So that pops up. So on a hot day, if you're getting along at speed, that's going to be quite nice. And then obviously under the shade when you need. Immense amount of space here. I'm sure you could do a tender and a crane up here in the bow as an option. This one hasn't been set up like that, but I'm sure that would be possible. Come forward, just see the super yacht style anchor setup. The bow roller on this is immense. And then obviously you can see the braking system for the clutch there is what you would expect on a boat of this size. I'll just quickly show you in here. Wash down, everything you would expect on a big boat, which is what this thing is. 10,500 litres of diesel capacity in 3 tanks. So just get that into your head. Come on back, let's keep this moving. It's a big boat. Storage, fender storage, cover storage, you name it. It is expansive, so you don't need to take any of those covers aft. You can store everything up the front of the boat before you moved aft. Now we get onto the teak here. Starboard side, we've got an access door into the saloon. I'm not going to go through that one. We're going to go down the back of the boat. I'm also not going to open all of the lockers and cupboards on this tour because it's a privately owned boat and I don't think it's any of my business. So just come with me, try and enjoy everything that you can, but that's why I'm not opening all the lockers as you would normally see me do on many of the videos. Now, pay attention to the design here. Actually, I missed one bit. Let's just go back. I want you to see these wings on this logo. So see this going on here? I believe that ties in quite nicely with this design element out the back of the boat. I've just been looking at it from the drone and I think it's a bit of a signature piece for the Riviera motor yacht, and what they have done with that externally, it's quite cool, but it also gives you a nice picture looking out, which we're going to have a look at in a second. So this will open on starboard. We have the same again on port for access, and then we've got obviously your traditional access down the back of the boat. We can do Euro style med mooring with the mule winches just here. We'll have a look at that in more detail at the end of the video, but just come in here and I want you guys to look out that way if you can, because this is one of the many zones you're going to be appreciating on this boat. And to try and put it into perspective, I'm going to sit on this lounge. It really is massive. So this table will fold up in half size and become a grab hold if you want. You've got 6 drink holders just there, and we have a sunshade which will electrically deploy and knock out the Arvo sun just here. Also pay attention to the roof design finishing here. So we're in complete protection from the elements in this area here, from sun, rain, we're totally protected. And when we're on anchor, we've got these extensions around the side which will allow some light through, but they will give you some privacy because no one can see in from the outside. So just over here, we've got the wine coolers just there. We actually have a sink in here, and then we've got lots of storage, drawers on this side, but we've got a really, really Australian Barbie is how I would describe this one. It's fantastic. So we can do our bacon and eggs on that side. We can do our steaks on that side. It's really, really well constructed, and it's got the Corian on top just there. And then we've got, I think that's an ice maker. I'll double check. Yes, it is an ice maker. We're going to see a lot of ice makers and fridges today. So we've got our beautiful bar just here, a couple of stools. We've got the drop-down glass window, and this is pretty bougie for Riviera. And it's a 30+ degree and humid day today, so come on and enjoy the air conditioning. And let's check out this interior. This is special, guys. The designer himself, Luca Valla, Mr. V, I don't know how to pronounce his surname, he's Italian, sorry. I do this every time with the Italians. I do apologise, Luca. But he was consulted, he's a super yacht designer, and the colours, the textures in this boat is possibly one of the things that's going to leave you with the greatest impression. It did for me when I got on at the Phuket Boat Show over the weekend. It's so cool. Everything's been done with an incredible amount of thought, and you really feel at home when you're on this boat. And check out the whole colour. This is one of the only boats that you could probably notice I like blue. That's quite in keeping with that. So galley here, U-shaped, full-size fridge. We've got freezers here and here. We've got a 4-burner. I'd say that's a 4-burner induction millet, and then we have the stove just here. We've got a dishwasher, a huge amount of storage, and pots and pans drawers as well on the bottom end underneath the dishwasher and on the other side. So immense amount of storage. We've got twin sinks just here. This looks like marble. I don't actually know if it is, but it's super nice. It's very heavy too. Beautiful. So on the port side, so that's just immediately as you enter these sliding doors, we have more refrigeration, freezer, fridge, I would say. We have the C zone just on the forward side of the fridge. So that's how you operate every Riviera. You just press cruising or night mode, whatever you're operating the boat as, and it will do all the switching for you. Really, really user-friendly, good way to use a boat. We have more storage in here, and then we enter the first formal, I don't know, no, it's not formal. This doesn't feel formal at all. It feels relaxing. It feels like I'm on holiday. So L-shaped lounge, beautifully comfortable. How cool is this interior piece just in the middle here on the carpet? And then we have another little mini, this is a little bit formal actually. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Fridge, wine bar, beautiful glassware on display that does not look like standard Riviera stuff. I've got to say, everything here is a real step up, and I know it's semi-custom. So sink in here. So this is where you prepare all your cocktails and your drinks. And look at that, they even won a photo competition, and the Riv guys sent them their own Big Mama custom little cocktail shaker. I think that's lovely. So the skipper has the ability to take this tablet down to the crew cabin and keep an eye on the boat's system. So that's kind of cool. It's just held on magnetically. You can walk around the boat and control all the systems as you go. We've got so many details, from extra amounts of storage here. Got the little love seat, great place to hang out and have a sleep of an afternoon. And we've got blinds all the way around, which can drop down and knock out that sunshine. But I'm going to focus in on the most impressive TV. How cool is this? This drops out of the roof. So this sits up in here in a huge, looks like a stainless steel frame with a locking mechanism, so it's not going to go anywhere in a seaway. But when you want, look at that. That's here, by the way. That's Thailand. If you haven't been boating in Thailand, you need to put it on your to-do list. This place is amazing. I mean that, honestly. Just get over here. It's wonderful. So that's you watching your movies, and this is the inside of that door that we just passed on the starboard side before. So we've just got the unlocking system. It is electric, or you can operate it manually. So let's go on down and look at the accommodation. Pay attention to the textures starting to change. So we've got these beautiful stairs, leather wrapped stainless steel handholds, and then soft textures on the wall here. These provide sound insulation. So I want you to start to listen to the noise levels. We've got a little bit of wind, about 12 knots of wind blowing, and some waves, and just have a listen as we go. We'll go forward into the VIP. We'll go straight up forward first, and then I'm going to show you the office and the accommodation after that. But just soak up these, just look at this. It's the most lovely Riviera internal cabin setup I've ever seen. Look at that color, look at this timber, and then even look at these vertical pieces, if you can in a second, just over here on the port side. Sorry, I'm moving too quickly for you guys. So look at that, isn't it lovely? So this would ordinarily be a television space, but the owner has put some artwork in here, which is, oh, that looks like it's following the history of this boat by the looks of it. But I just think this is great. It really does have big boat vibes. We've got the opening hatches up forward. We've got the mirror. We can see out through the windows. We've got hanging lockers on both sides and the white cabinets with more storage. Just to let you know, next to those reading lights at each side on port and starboard, you've got a place for your phones and your electronics just there. So you do have private, okay, that door closes. And this is the head compartment. It is very large. We've got a lot amount of headroom, heaps of beam as well. So just consider that. If you're a big bloke, you're not going to struggle here. Quite a large shower stall in there, plenty of storage, feels like marble, and it's also carrying up around the doorway and on the vanity. And that looks like a one piece. I don't know how they would do that. Someone who knows more about this than me, leave a comment, but the stone looks like it's all been carved out of one piece. That must be hard to produce. They've got the little safety wires, so if you leave any of these portholes open, you are going to be notified at the helm so you don't let any water into the boat. Full-size stand-up mirror, so you can check yourself out. Now, through this door is the day head. So this is accessible through here, but it should have another door on the inside for the guest cabin. So you go in there, a huge amount of space, separate shower, everything you need. Just look at that toilet bowl. It's big porcelain. That's massive. That's not what you see in your average boat. Very, very nicely done. But then come on in here and check out this accommodation. So we have the two singles. I call these kiddies cabins a lot of the time, but one of you commented in a previous video saying, is it just for kids? It's absolutely not just for kids. An adult, a 6-foot adult could sleep on this bed. You've got a huge amount of headroom just here, lots of space to move around, and there's a button to press, because if you can see this, the track that I'm stepping on will actually slide this bed into the center line and create a double. And what I love now about having these windows, and you can just listen to the amount of insulation that we've got now, you can still appreciate the views. Storage all the way up here, and we've also got bedside table in the middle and another one that'll appear from out of nowhere when you slide the bed across. So that's cool. Now there's air conditioning controls in each cabin, so don't worry about that. Access into the bilge underneath this incredibly soft carpet through multiple little opening hatches as you make your way around the boat. But this, isn't this cool? You know, with Starlink, work from boat vibe, this is a proper office. This gets me excited. I just imagine doing my editing in a space like this and having views out of some tropical island that I'm visiting for the day. How amazing would that be? So storage underneath, we've got plenty of leg room under this table. It's quite a deep table as well. And we even have a Pullman berth that'll pull out from that forward bulkhead just there and deploy if you need the extra accommodation. So that's cool. So this particular boat, the owners have had multiple Rivieras before. They even put in the build process extra foam insulation and customized to that level from the bow aft to make sure it was a pleasant experience for the guests. So they know a thing or two about boats, put it that way. Coming down a couple of stairs here, and we're going straight into the master. I've seen this on Rivs before where they recess this door just here, and behind it we have a full stand-up mirror. On the starboard side, this door gets you into a full walk-in wardrobe. So that's on the starboard side, but then just come in here, soak this up, guys. This air conditioning is great, by the way. So I am a big fan of this timber finish. So whoever chose this, well done. That's just, you know, does a great job of setting the scene when you get in here. This bed's the biggest bed I've ever seen. That's bigger than a king. Is there another size up for a king? I don't even know. Leave a comment in the description. But you've got storage all the way along here. I told you the owner had Rivieras before. Here's the history. Isn't that great? I love that. This is the history of some previous Rivieras in the family. And then I'll head over here to port. All of these vertical pillars well insulated. We've got speakers set in. The TV has got its own custom sound system embedded in, or camouflaged, I should say, with this black surround. But then you come into a really amazing head and shower compartment, which would be great for a couple at all times because you've got a closing door. So just come in and around and have a look at that. This is a little pocket door which will slide like that. So if you're on the loo and your partner wants to use the shower, it's nothing awkward. I suppose it wouldn't be awkward anyway, but you have the possibility. And we've got twin sinks just there, which is super handy. Loads and loads of storage. And then check out this shower stall. I'm going to get in this one because that's the biggest shower stall on the boat from what I can see. So this is glass, not Perspex. That looks like armor glass. Heaps of space, rain head, shower thingamajiggy, and then one of these things, but heaps of space for all your shampoos just there, and that's frosted glass. You can't see through that at all, so that's not a problem. And it's a proper wet area. Nothing's gonna interfere with the moisture in here. And we've got a towel rack just there and a teak little step just there. And I can also see under the marble or corian, whatever it is, we can get access into systems in the bilge. So that's handy. Let's keep this moving because there's a lot of boat to see. So we're going to go from here and we're going to go upstairs. Let's go up to the Flybridge, which I suspect is going to be a space that you guys hang out a lot of the time. And we'll explore that. And then we're going to go driving. So just keep watching. A little bit of storage camouflaged behind there. And then we go up these stairs. So I like how these stairs have a little curve, as you would imagine in an expensive house. So it doesn't actually just end and go straight onto the couch just there. That's kind of nice. And they've utilized extra storage for bits and pieces. There's also some charging there, air conditioning control. So great place just to pop some phones down for charging. Coming up, we've got leather wrapped grab handles here, leather wrapped recessed grab handles here, and this whole area can close up as well. So when you're in a seaway, it is possible. Say hello to the gang. So I'm going to show you guys the Helm in just a sec. So we'll just focus on these areas because we will actually go for a drive. But at the moment, we've got another corian with a sink just here. That looks like wine storage, I think, for a wine cooler. This one was a fridge from memory. There was another fridge in there. They actually removed it. Maybe they had too much refrigeration. But up here, now I know a lot of you have seen on Rivs, you would have had another bed which slides out. This one is a custom setup. So we've gone for more of the angled finish, and then we have the flip up tables like that so we can reduce it into coffee table size or do dining if you want, or just hanging out for a few people. Let's go through the James Bond doors and check out. I just love that. I never get sick of that. So you can set these to stay open, but it is stinking hot and humid out here, so hence why we've been closing them. And on this side, it's all storage. So I better open that again. The James Bond. It's two James Bond there. So that's all storage on the port side. I just wanted to point out this whilst I was here. This is access up onto the roof. So if you need to wash the boat and you've got to get up on the top, or access the radars or any of the equipment that you have up on the radar mast, that's how you get there. And there is actually another hatch just there, but I suppose you just step up on this. Just check out this. How cool. I love Thailand. who cares about outboard engines when you could just get a motor out of your Suzuki and stick it on the end of a pole? I freaking love it. That's so good. Nobody's worrying about going over the top here. Wonderful. This is such a wonderful place. So we have refrigeration in here. We've got ice maker in here. We actually have oxygen tank storage in here. So if you've been having a swim and you've just overdone yourself a little bit, don't worry, they got you sorted. Got a sink just here, plenty of workspace just there. And then this is quite super yacht vibey. This lounge here, that's obviously got the pop-up here for the backrest and storage underneath. So it's gas struts, just undo a little locker, a little latch, which is actually just there, and the whole thing will come up. So all the covers that are up here on the Flybridge can actually be stored in there, and you have protection from the rain and sun out to this level just here. And then obviously this is actually designed as a sun baking area. But the leather wraps are all the way around, so it's actually quite comfortable. So doing this, hanging out, socializing, chatting with your mates is great. And then we've got wing stations on either side, which we better fire up the motors and give these a go. So we've got a couple of MAN V12s going through V-drive shafts on this boat. So I think now's the time. We've got another island to go to. Hopefully it's as beautiful as this one. So let's fire up the motors and give this boat a little bit of a test. Okay, so come in and I'll just describe the Helm for you guys, and then we're going to go for a drive right now. So 3 beautiful chairs, quite a bit of space in between them, so nobody's going to be stuck in any one position, as can happen on some boats. Huge 4 multifunctional displays up here at the Helm. They are the biggest Raymarine screens that you can get. Obviously you can have whatever you like. You can see this particular owner has got cameras from the engine bay to the back of the boat to the front of the boat. We've currently got it on engine data, some radar and chart, but you can do whatever you like. So starting over here on the port side, both port and starboard navigators chairs are adjustable, incredibly comfortable, backrests and everything, but you've got beautiful footrests on an angle which have some grip in them. So if you were stepping out in a seaway, that's fine. We've got this lovely carbon finish, dark leather, so no reflections in your face, and the overhang of the roof design, that's a typical Riv feature, is going to stop this middle hot tropical summer, tropical sun, middle of the day is what I'm trying to say, from belting down and creating reflections on the glass. So that's pretty good. We also have internal blinds which will pull up from the bottom position, so at the end of the day you can just block the sun out, which is also super handy. All our boat systems along here, C-Zone just here, VHF, MAN, start stop, so we're running the V12 on the shaft drives, and we've got the Optimus rudder angle indicator on the port side of the Helm. Then we have the variable speed hydraulic bow and stern thrusters just there. That's your gearbox temperatures. We got the Muir chain counter, the Humphrey stabilizer, so that's active speed through the fins. So they're fins which are stabilizing the vessel, but we also have interceptors at the back, so they're not trim tabs, they go like this on the transom of the boat, and they are built in with the Humphrey system, so it's doing it all automatically, is what I'm trying to explain. The wheel is adjustable. The Helm chair goes forward, back, up and down. It's equally as comfortable, but it is on a raised setting at the moment compared to the other two, and obviously you have the ability, whereas these two go forward and back, and then you have the backrest adjustment. This one has the up and down for short blokes like me. So that's basically why. We have Starship Enterprise inspired display or controls just here, but what that's all about is to make your life really comfortable on a long passage. So I've got the controls here, even though they're touch screen. If you wanted to use them using these ones, it's possible. I've got the Raymarine Autopilot. I have my wipers all operational with single touch, for you can dedicate a finger for that. So if you are in some rough weather, that's easier to use. Throttles just here. Twin disc with the joystick, so this does allow joystick parking. It allows you to incorporate the thrusters and the throttles around at the dock. We're going to demo that when we get to the next island. Right now we're just going to go through the speeds. Air conditioning all the way across. I can put manuals, charts in these wells just here, drink holders, And we even have, I'll just quickly point this out, see this vertical upright here, and see where it ends all the way over there. This is a drop-down window. This is a drop-down window on port and starboard, so we can actually electrically lower this. And we also have access through this skylight just here. So that will open up and you can have airflow right throughout the thing. So at the end of the day, what a wonderful experience. Okay, let me just familiarize myself with any traffic. It's time to get driving. Just looking for long-tail boats and fishermen. Can't see any. All right, I got my RPM. I've got my fuel flow on, oh, wait a sec. I have, oh yeah, there, right there in front of me. Fuel flow port and starboard, RPM above that. And then that's basically what you're going to be concerned about. And I'll talk about my SOG as we go through the rev range. Once again, this place is bloody beautiful. If you guys haven't been to Thailand, this is just such a paradise. I can see lots of long-tail boats over there on anchor. Our next destination is actually that island. We're going to try and get some ice creams, I hope. And let's start pottering along. So, current fuel flow of 13 litres a side, RPM 650, giving me 4 knots and climbing. Let's just let the boat settle into a bit of a speed. I also want you guys to appreciate the horizon. There is a little bit of wind, 5 to 10 knots, a little bit of water movement, but with these Humphreys stabilizers on, it's giving us quite a smooth ride. Next thing, I was driving the 58 Sport Motor Yacht just the other day, and that's IPS. This is shaft drive. So ordinarily, you really notice when you're engaging a shaft drive from neutral in gear. You have a bit of a lurch and there's a lot of noise, that sort of thing happening up here at the helm, but it really isn't noticeable on this boat. This is very, very quiet. So just taking the revs through 800 RPM now, fuel flow of 22 to 24, giving me a speed return a little over 8 knots. It looks like 8.5. It's going to settle in at 8.5. Scanning for traffic, looking good. And let's take that up to 1,000 revs. Lots of jellyfish in the water today. Okay. Approaching 1,000 revs, just broken 10 knots there. The bow's not raising at this point. I would expect the bow to raise considerably more to an IPS because of that angle of the shaft. So just remember that. From this level, are we going to notice it? You'll find out. 1,100 RPM. Now I think you guys should just step back a little bit and start to get a picture looking forward so you can see what I'm seeing. I know many of you ask me in the comments to see what I am seeing, because let's get the boat up on the plane. 11 knots, 55 aside to 57, 1,100 RPM and climbing. I really like these throttles. Good amount of feedback, so to speak. So when you're putting pressure on the throttle lever itself, even if you were in a seaway, it doesn't feel like you're going to accidentally put too much pressure on it if you hit a wave. We are making some wash, by the way, but who cares about that? That's behind us now. Am I allowed to say that? So, 16 knots, 1,600 RPM, 165 aside. Let's get moving. Let's go up to 20 knots. I'm going to turn out into deeper water in a second. I see one fisherman out to starboard. I'll stay clear of him. 1,800 revs, 260, 20 knots. A little bit of bow raise now, but it's not affecting my visibility. So once again, guys, I can raise this seat if that's important, or if you can't see. And I have no desire to stand right now. However, where am I going to put my feet? That's an issue for a short bloke right now. I actually don't have anything to do with my feet. So I might, at some point, want to stand to relieve any pressure on my legs just there. So now let's turn out to deep water. And we'll increase speed. Wow, you can really feel that pickup there. 22 knots, 23, 19, 2,000 RPM. Fuel flow at 320 aside. That feels great, guys. Now she's settling down a bit. 24, 24.4 knots. Okay, we're just going to set a course, and I'm just going to give it a little touch of wide open. I don't drive boats around at wide open all day, but I'll just give it a bit more before I do that, because I feel like a fast cruise is about there. So 26, just about to hit 27, 2,180 RPM at 350 litres an hour, giving me 27. That feels like a fast cruise. You're going to eat up some miles. Call it 2,200 revs. Let's just go wide open throttle for a sec. So there's not much more left in it there. So 2,200, we might see a tad more. And that's giving me 27 and a half. So I think that is our max throttle. And let's just check on that speed again. And I'm actually going to just put the boat through a turn, a starboard turn, at that full throttle, and then I'm going to back off on the pace. .26 knots, 350 a side, lovely. Think of all those Saudi kids who get to go to university because of us. Just helping the world, love it. All right, now I'm going to back it off to 2,000 RPM, 22 knots. That seems more like a sensible cruising speed if you want to go fast. Not much heel angle through the turn there. And then I'm going to just put a little port side wheel down, and if you guys just come back a little bit so you can see what I'm seeing. So when I do port side wheel down, just see how the boat's not heeling too much. So it's quite comfortable from my perspective. And now I'm going to slow down, come off the plane. I can see my wash on this aft-facing camera here, and I can control my deceleration so I don't affect or bring any water up on the boat unnecessarily. I know we have got the swim platform raised because it does make sense with a shaft drive setup like this to get the tender up and out of the way. So coming down to 12 knots, I feel like a boat of this caliber, you're probably going to cruise around at 10 to 12 knots a lot of the time. So let's go into our waves now and then head straight over to that island. We'll play with this twin disc joystick, am I saying that right? Set up, and I'll demonstrate what I learn along the way, and then we will see if we can get an ice cream because it's stinking hot here. Here we go. Just get the camera up and have a look. We'll see if any water comes up on the bow, just going through these now considerable waves that we've made from both directions. So if you had any guests in that location coming through at 9 knots, looks like this is the big one. Looks like they're going to be dry. Isn't that lovely? Okay, check back in a sec and we'll give you a demo of the joystick. Okay guys, we've reached our next destination. Beautiful little shallow water, nice anchorage up there, but I want to do it from the wing station. So we've dropped both side windows and opened the sunroof just so you can get a feel for it. Probably the sort of thing you would do at the end of the day in a hot climate like this. But we have a wing station on starboard, have another one on port, and the operation is just station select. Wait for the green lights, take command. See that? Okay, first things first, we've got shaft drives, okay? So if I just push forward, that's going to engage the motors. Now I'm driving forward. I don't have access to the rudders. So if I want to turn the boat, I just twist this joystick and it actually operates the hydraulic variable speed thrusters at different rates, and it will actually turn the boat. So I'm now turning the boat to port, and if I want to turn it to starboard, I just turn it like so. But now, if I want to stop the boat, I'll just give it a little bit of reverse. And I'm going to show you another cool feature about this piece of tech here. So, obviously I've got my engine start stops there, but if you can see in the shade, see this button here? If I press that, it gives me a heading hold and it gives me a positions hold. So if I press position hold, it is now connecting with satellites. I can relax a little bit and go and sort out my lines, fenders, anchor, or whatever you happen to be doing at the time, because it's now connected with the satellites and it's holding us on station. So that is super handy. I'm just going to go cancel that back to manual, because you don't want anyone in the water if you're doing this, because it's going to move without you knowing. Anyway, we're going to drop the anchor, get the boat settled, and then I'm going to go straight down to the engine room and we'll look at all the other bits and pieces from the crew space to the engine room and the tender and toy deployment. As promised, we're going to go down to the crew quarters and through the engine room. So down these stairs, it's crew only, basically. So come on down. We actually have 240 breaker panels in here and genset operation behind these doors. Check out how they've carried the super yacht vibe even all the way down here. So we've got these same stairs, we've got this same finish, and then the beautiful floor. And then as you come in, just come and appreciate this. Enough space. You know, enough space. We've got 2 single bunks. We've got a microwave just here. We've got some storage behind me there. So they're proper bunks. We've got leather padding all the way around, so they are going to be comfortable. A couple of drawers. And then in here, I'll just open that so you can have a look in. Combined head and shower. And then behind the door here, we have the washer and the dryer. So obviously all the washing and drying can be done from here. Drawers just there. A few systems, VHF, aircon operation. Obviously from here aft is the engine bay. So this is a watertight bulkhead, and we open this door like so. There's another watertight bulkhead forward in the bow. Got the gensets running. Come on in. Just have a look at this. The shafts are turning because of the tide. That's the tide turning the propellers. We've got a couple of knots of tide just here. I just thought that'd be interesting for you. So just get a wide shot and appreciate. First thing I want you guys to look at, full stand-up headroom in here. Sight gauges for the fuel tanks. Just here, there's 3 tanks on this boat. 2 gensets, Cummins gensets on either side, and then we go to the engines. The engines are facing the other way because it's a V drive. So that just there is the V drive reversing the direction of the travel, and then you can see the angle of the shaft. That angle of the shaft is why we had a little bit more bow raise on acceleration on this boat compared to the IPS drives, which you've also probably seen on my channel. So just working our way from the port side going around, you can see a lot of the refrigeration just there. I've got full walking access around the motor here. This is actually the water maker. That was next to the C zone at the top of the stairs. I forgot to point that out. This is the exhaust just here and the muffler going aft. We've got shore power cable retraction. That's all electrically controlled and goes into this drum behind me just here. I've got power distribution. So all the C zone, all that switching that I was talking about that happens at single finger touch up at the helm or at the top of the stairs, that's all this stuff. So you can also control it here, and everything, you'll find this on every Riviera, is individually marked. So it's really, really well done. More refrigeration. This is engine room ventilation just here. This is another shore power cable control just there. I've got access to my through holes, and the flooring is all flat and level, but it's removable as well. There's so much more, but I can only cover so much. I've got batteries, centrally mounted, heavy, just there. That's going to be a house system. Come on into the tool room. How cool is this? So we've got our own little workbench here, storage, toolbox, drawers, everything's packed because it's an own boat, of course. And then we've got access into the steering and hydraulics for the platform, which I want to show you right now because it's bloody hot in here. And that is our starboard rudder, and our port rudder is going to be over on the port side. But this door It's got a little unlock feature, and then you just push it out and come on onto the swim platform. Let's get into the fresh air. So I left these stairs down only half the way. This platform deploys fully deep down into the water, and then as part of the deployment, it actually gets you a bit of a super yacht vibe stairway into the water. It's really, really nice, but it also reverses the other way, which we already saw during the test drive. So it'll come up and then get the tender and the platform deep and clear and out of the way. As you can see, we've got these safety rails deployed at the moment. Check out the tide. Check how much it's ripping. You really want to be careful in some places where there's about a 3 meter travel from up to down, I believe, here in Thailand. You get that in New Zealand, up in Queensland as well. So when it's ripping, she's ripping. Come up here. This is actually the toy storage. We'll check that out in a second. I just wanted to show you the shower. How cool is this? A full rain head shower, and we've got some downlights here. I guess that's somewhere to hang a towel. I don't actually know. It feels like it is. And then I've got storage for the tender chocks. All those stainless steel wraparounds go in here, and then all your toys, dive gear, director's chairs, you know, comfortable, what are those soft things that you sit on? I've forgotten the name. Anyway, they're there. So this will obviously level out. Actually, I might even, no, I can't reach it right now. And when you are at rest, you put this platform in the level, you know, level attitude. If you want to enjoy it. I just wanted to leave that deliberately in the down position so you guys could see what was possible. This is a deployable swim ladder just here, and we've got a grab handle for getting on and off your tender, but these owners have done another custom ladder on the starboard side, which is not in place, it's stored below, which makes it even easier for them to board. So I'll just quickly show you the shower. Look at that. That's quality. Nice stainless steel job there, hot and cold. And that just deploys in there. And the other thing, come in here. So you've got these little lockers, and you might look at this and think, oh, that's got a lot of load. So why would you have an empty void opening up like this? It's actually, that's the thickness of the GRP. This is all solid glass, and there's backing plates underneath. So this is super strong and just typical Riviera, amazing stainless features, which are going to last a lifetime. If you haven't watched my factory tour, they explain how they do it and how they make a difference when they're preparing their stainless. Come on up the bow. I think that's probably the whole boat. This was just an opportunistic video. I was at the boat show. I had no plans on filming, and the guys from Lee Marine were like, what are you doing tomorrow, Dan? Do you want to come out on the 78? And I was like, why not? So I didn't actually bring any equipment with me. So we've really just made this one up on the run. So I hope that was valuable to you. And what have I discovered about this 78? If you're somebody who wants to cruise around long range to do some serious boating in remote places, this boat will sit at 10 knots happily burning 80 litres an hour all day long. It's a long range possible if you choose, but you'll also wind up to 22 and 27 knots as well. So that's going to open up a whole new environment for many of you. If you have distant shores in mind, if you want to come to places like this, even take delivery of a boat like this in Thailand, just imagine what you can achieve. It's such a beautiful place. I can't speak highly enough about Thailand as a destination. It's that good. So if you're that sort of person who wants to cruise slow, it can do that for you. If you want to go fast, it can do that for you as well. It's a Riviera with super yacht vibes, okay? So that's what's going to be possible on a vessel like this. Let me know what you think. I hope you got some value out of this video. I hope it answered some questions that you may or may not have had, and that's why I do this. So if you want to or care to support, get on and subscribe to my Patreon. I really, really appreciate it. That's what keeps me independent, and that's what keeps these videos coming for you guys. So subscribe, like, share. Really appreciate all the communication you guys get in the channel there. And also, if you've got any questions, jump into the comments and leave them. I will try and answer them as soon as I can. And if I can't, I'll ask the team at Riv, who are very responsive, and we'll get back to you, because that's what this is all about. Anyway, you're all legends. Thanks. See you on the next one. You didn't think I came all this way not to get in the water. See you on the next one, guys. Woo!